there's been a theme of clients this week who have felt like, I'm just trying to summarize, obviously, if I'm leaving you out, don't be offended. But there's been a theme of clients this week, and you would have experienced at other points in your life where you feel like, I'm referring to women in a relationship, or that they have had some contact with the man in question. So if you're in a relationship, or you've seen him or heard from him in the last weeks or months, and yet you feel like there's this constant, why can't I get him out of my head? Oh, we have this deep connection, whatever that is. Oh, we didn't even really spend that much time together. What's wrong with me? Why am I thinking about this man so much? It can be that you're remembering another time where maybe you did have a more serious relationship, but not in this life. So in another birth. So I'm talking about reincarnation and the eternity of the soul, not just there's a soul in this body and that's it for this life, as though you die and then it's finished. Not even in physics, fortunately, I read this somewhere, not even in physics can an energy supposedly die and not be traceable afterwards. It's always traceable, it just changes forms. So for those of you who are mentally active in that department, to kind of help you understand better, or maybe you've always been interested in this sort of thing. So you might have felt, I love him so much and I can't wait to see him, or I can't let go of him and I'm doing my head in and I've just done my healing point meditation like Benita just showed me, and why am I still thinking about him, and why can't I get him out of my head? So you might have had a past life with him in the last 100 years, the last 500 years, the last 2,000 years, who knows? And you might be remembering a time that you had together that was maybe more than this life, or maybe you never had enough time together in another life, and that same thing might be repeated. So the intensity of your feeling of wanting to be with him, or why can't I get rid of this person out of my head or out of my being, would be because, well, one reason would be because of that. You've got a bank up of memories from another life that maybe similar problems existed. Maybe in another life you also didn't have good communication because he didn't. Maybe in another life he also didn't hang around for too long. Maybe in this lifetime you couldn't have children together, but yet you can't stop thinking about it because you probably did have children with him in another life. Like there's so many different scenarios, I suppose, and different ways of understanding how these links will create a kind of hook in you. So if I was going to combine something, that I've just talked about, those points again. So just have some water while I'm thinking. Thanks for watching, everyone. It's time. Okay, so if I was going to combine what I was doing earlier in the show, so if I was going to combine healing points with helping you to connect to another life with the person who maybe at the moment you can't get him out of your head. So let's try that now. So eyes closed. So in line with your eyes, between your eyebrows and your hairline, 2 fingers makes a difference. not one, two on each hand. Ideally, if you're at a bench or table, you can do this in bed, but it's like your arms get sore. It's still worth it until your arms get sore. So holding your forehead healing points, and thinking about the man in question, and just see if you can see him in different clothes, because the clothes that he wears now or in this life will be completely different to the clothes that he wore in another life. So if you continue doing this, I'll talk for those of you who are not, or you can just listen to my voice. Hold those points and see if you can see him wearing different clothes, because that will give you an idea of what part in history he might have belonged to with you when you were living. So WHEN, when you were living together. There are many more people on the earth now than there was 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago, what have you. Even if your mind can't mentally work out where the place is, just let the memory or the images come. Don't be hard on yourself if this doesn't work out for this guy, so it's fine. This is just an experiment today to see how you feel about it. Maybe you don't even want to do it because, I don't want to know any more about him or whatever we did together or what have you. But even for someone who you didn't have a good experience with and you might still feel angry about, this is still a good exercise to help get his energy out of your system, even though it seems counterintuitive, like, well, why am I thinking about someone who I don't love, don't like, hate? In fact, I don't want to be thinking about that. The fact that you actually still don't like or still hate that person suggests that those feelings still need to be healed, and you're better off confronting it. Very scary thing. You're better off confronting it than pretending they're not there. If you want to. If you don't want to, you don't have to do it. So holding those points, closing your eyes and taking a few deep breaths, and we can do this for a couple of minutes. You concentrate on holding the points. I might have my eyes open at times. Slow deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth. Tummy inflates as you breathe in, tummy deflates as you breathe out. And just gradually, if possible, allow yourself to see who it is. It might not be someone that you immediately prefer to do this exercise on. Someone else might pop into your head. It doesn't have to be someone you loved. It doesn't have to be a past relationship. It could be your female best friend. It could be someone else you've got an issue with. So slow deep breaths, holding that person in your mind and just allowing yourself. I say allow because you kind of just need it to let it happen, not use your brain for it. Your mind is not on here. It's a feeling, breathing thing. Allow yourself to see if that person's clothes change, and you might see where you knew him from. Slow deep breaths. If it gets too confronting as you go along, you don't have to keep going. You can stop. So as long as you bring yourself back into the present and tell yourself, your name and say that you're back in today and say the date in your head. So just another minute. Oh, where's the clock gone? Just another minute thinking about that person. and allowing their clothes to change and seeing where you knew them from. So these feelings that you've got that may not belong to this life, you can see where they did belong to, and you're not making it up. Like some people, oh, what's wrong with me? These are just stupid ideas in my head. I'm making things up. Maybe you're not making anything up. Maybe you really do feel these intense feelings because of past life associations. So give yourself credit. So a few more deep breaths. The last 3, just focusing on the person in your mind, holding those points. 3, last 3rd breath. 2, and 1. Last breath. And whatever you saw, whatever you remember, or whatever you didn't see, you're still progressing even if you don't see things. So do know that part. And then hearing in your mind again your name and today's date. Doesn't matter if you're watching this live or not. And take a deep breath and feeling like you're back in the present. Right. How did everyone go?